session in order. Please lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir. Roll call.
Alderman Rye.
Here.
Alderman Miller.
Here.
Alderman Stevens.
Here.
Alderman Poverty.
Here.
Alderman Lockhart.
Here.
Alderman Kane.
Here. All right. We have a quorum. I'd like to welcome our visitors here this evening. The first item is the consent agenda. Alderman Wellington, Finance Committee.
Actually, the Finance Committee would have met tonight, but we were doing our work session, so we actually sent some questions in to Mickey and Becky, and they answered those. One in particular I'd still like to bring to your attention. We have on there, and I'm going to get it wrong because the computer is not awake yet, but it was the engineering services. It's like $120,000. And the Public Works report says that that work is still being reviewed by the engineer. Are we paying that before the engineering firm has signed off on it? And if so, is that what we want to do? And as soon as I get back, thank you.
I'm looking for the check number.
It's on page 64, I can tell you that.
It's 29616.
Thank you.
Nutrijet. That's the cleaning of the East Lagoon of the wastewater, or I'm sorry, at the water plant. The physical work has been completed, but we're waiting on the final report from our city engineer. Is that correct, Mr. Conway?
So should we be paying that before the engineer has signed off that the project is complete?
There was two payments. There's this payment, and then there's a final payment. So this shouldn't be, if it says the final payment, it says it shouldn't be. There's two payments to this project. One has been paid, then we'll get the city engineer report, and the final payment will be made after the report is cleared. Okay?
Alderman Stevens, did you have any others that you wanted to bring up? I think we had several, we got satisfactory answers to everything. Most of it is, what are we buying, what is this?
Yep, I think we got everything worked out, so.
I appreciate you guys being flexible with your meeting tonight. Anything else? That's all I have. All right. Consent agenda for your approval. Take a motion.
I make a motion that we approve the consent agenda.
I'll second. Motion is second for consent. Any questions? Alderman Carney, do you have one?
I just found 29616.
Okay. All right. All right, seeing no questions, all in favor? Motion carries. Next is public comments. Is there anybody from the public that wishes to comment on any agenda items? That's fine. Do you have a comment, you need to. Okay, if you could come up to the podium, please, and give us your name and your address.
My name is Melanie St. Dennis. I live at 316 South Dyer Street. I
Ma'am,
believe,
if you don't mind, I'm sorry, can you, check, make sure it's on, it's tough to hear there. There you go.
my name is Melanie St. Dennis. I live at 316 South Dyer Street. My big concern is the road on Johnson Drive. And the reason for this concern, it's always been a concern. I think everyone that lives or has gone down Johnson Drive has performed the avoid pothole maneuver, especially if there's another vehicle coming or a pedestrian coming. I mean, there's definitely a lot of potholes, and it's not just Johnson Drive, there's other streets throughout Odessa. This is a great concern. What was most concerning towards me and why I bring it up is because Saturday morning I had thankfully been, as normal, going to work about 2 hours early. I am a nurse. I work at a hospital, and I happened to be driving down Johnson Drive, and that particular morning was our first real cold morning, and the windows were condensed and very difficult to keep clear. So as I was driving, I heard a loud thud, and frightened me, and the next thing I know, I heard the repeating thud of my flat tire. And knew exactly what I had hit because that very large pothole had been there for several days. So I got out of my car, and I indeed had a flat tire. And most concerning about this is the fact that if indeed I had not given myself that room for error, I would have been late for work. Our hospital does a point system, and if you don't call within 2 hours, then you get 2 points. And that's kind of a big deal. Not only that, but we would have to call in another nurse to fill my position, and my positions would go without the wonderful care that I give in the middle of my job. Again, I said it was very chilly this morning. I can only imagine if a young mother had been out with her newborn baby, had to get, a can of formula on the side of the road, and wasn't lucky enough to have her father come help her. It might did for me. Since then, I drove by this evening, and it has been filled with gravel. I think I'm just curious as to where these potholes stand, and I know that there is a repair in mind for it this spring. But where does the maintenance for these come in, for the people that aren't as fortunate to have the funds during fires, et cetera? Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else wish to address the board? All right, nobody else, move into the mayor's report. First thing that I have is tomorrow night at 7 p.m. down here at the playground here in Dyer Park is the official ribbon cutting celebrating the Department of Natural Resources grant that the department received. They put down the 8 inches of rubber mulch in that playground and the playground toys down there. So they're going to be doing a ribbon cutting at 7, and then, like I said earlier, immediately following that, they're going to be having their work session on the smoking ordinance. So 7 p.m. tomorrow night. Lindsay Adams wanted me to mention that. And then you can see here, we had a recognition for service for Sergeant William Stratton, 15 years of service from September 6th, 2000 to September 6th, 2015, a dedication and excellence, improving quality public safety for the city of Odessa, Missouri. Not here, right? Okay. So I wanted to thank him for his service for the last 15 years. That is, well, one more thing, I apologize. Also wanted to remind you of the MML chapter Central Division meeting. That's October 28th. We are hosting that at the Odessa High School Commons area. You should have received it. I got an email today from MML about it, so I'm assuming you may have also, but it starts at 6 p.m. And dinner's at 7. And we need to let Ms. Hope know if you're going to be able to attend, so she gets registered. Registration deadline is the 18th of
Thursday.
So let Peggy know as soon as you can, but you may have an email about it, so that way she can get numbers. All right, and that's all that I have. Moving to Alderman report, Alderman Henning.
Nothing to report, Mr. Mayor.
Alderman Billington.
Nothing tonight, Mr. Mayor.
You, Alderman Lockhart.
Nothing to report, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Alderman Carmody.
Nothing.
report, EMS monthly report, Public Works. We'll start with that first. Any questions on these reports?
I have one question.
Go ahead.
Last meeting we had, the Board of Aldermen, we talked about a pipe on Phillips Street, we discussed the pipe on McDowell Street. I don't see anything on the agenda or anything in that report of where we are looking to move forward on that. So, what is the status of it? When can we maybe expect to see us moving forward on the McDowell Street pipe?
The FEMA inspector came Friday, and so we took him around to the areas that had been damaged. Obviously, McDowell Street was one of them. His report will need to be written. There's a possibility that he'll need to come back and do further inspection. And so he's not given us a firm time frame, but he's still saying it's 6 weeks away from, or longer, to make a decision. So that's where McDowell Street is. As far as Phillips and Connor is concerned, we have ordered the pipe, and the pipe is to be delivered, I believe, tomorrow. And so we'll start work on Phillips and Connor just as soon as our crews can get out there.
So, FEMA seemed to look at the one on Phillips Street as well?
They did. They weren't sure what they could do with Phillips and Connor. We've had our city crews have actually been in the pipe and have walked the length of the pipe, and so they're gathering that information as well, because there could have been damage prior to the June 3rd flood to that pipe, so they're figuring all that out. That's on Phillips and Connor.
Okay, so did he say there was no reason why we couldn't go ahead and purchase the pipe for McDowell Street? I think we had talked about that as long as it's a like-for-like pipe, they would still pay for that, correct? If we already had it in place and ready to go, so that 6 weeks from now, when they say yes or no, we can move forward because we have the pipe already here, just like we did with Phillips Street, correct? Is that an option?
Certainly, I would need to get board approval to purchase that pipe because it's going to be over my 10,000 limit. And then we've had McDowell Street, the engineers have looked at it and they have given us a cost estimate, a construction estimate that the board is certainly welcome to look at as well. But the cost of McDowell Street is significantly different than Phillips and Connor.
I understand that, but I think we need to start looking at moving forward on McDowell Street. We are months behind from when it happened, and I know we've been waiting for FEMA, and like we discussed the last one, moving forward on Phillips Street was a safety concern. It's in somebody's yard, I understand that, but we should be doing what we can as far as preparing the board, getting it on the agenda, getting stuff here, so we can move forward with that process, that project, in case they say no, or if they say yes. I just don't feel we should be waiting longer for McDowell Street. You know, I know we're talking about the same stuff we talked about 2 weeks ago, but I was really hoping that we would see something on the agenda this week about it.
And we can certainly get a cost estimate for pipe for McDowell Street and bring that before the board at our next meeting.
And that would be exactly what we've done with Phillips Street, because all we did with Phillips Street was the pipe. We don't have the whole entire project cost or any of that, it was just the pipe. So if we could at least start moving on that end, it is, you know, we're moving that project forward just like we are with Phillips Street, instead of continuing to wait.
I'll get with Mr. Conway and we'll move forward on that.
Anything else on department manager reports? All right. Seeing nothing else, we've got Officer Marcus Gilman, recognition. Chief Newhouse.
If I can have Officer Stillman come up. I didn't put Mark on if I would.
It's on the agenda. I just read it straight off
No,
the
I'm just
agenda.
kidding.
I apologize. I was a little caught off guard.
One of the big things is that I think it's important that when you have an officer as dedicated as Officer Stillman is to the Odessa Police Department and to the R7 School District, that I have to read here in a minute. So I think it's important that we recognize people in public. So I'd like to recognize, you want to take a picture first? Okay, all right, here we go. This is a chief's commendation to Marty K. Stillman. And in recognition for her countless hours and dedication to the Odessa R7 School District to ensure our children receive appropriate services and protection while they attend school and other related functions. Additionally, recognize you for your dedication in the DARE program that you yourself have created a new standard for. In regards to the awareness and drug awareness associated with those issues. Lastly, I would like to recognize you for your service you provide to the community as well for all that full-time service that you provided us in. Just so everybody knows, Officer Stillman is not leaving us all together. She's going to help us out doing the part-time stuff, and she's going to continue the DARE program for the rest of this year, which is going to help us out immensely. So on behalf of that, this certificate shall dedicate to Officer Stillman her continuous commitment to the professionalism in supporting the Odessa Police Department's mission. So there you go. Thanks again.
Congratulations, Officer Steelman, and thank you again for all your service.
Thank
I
you.
know that I've seen Officer Steelman in action a couple times with the DARE program over at the school and different activities that she's involved with over there. And the teachers love her, the students love her. She does a very good job of dealing with them. And I know, when Officer McKay was here, he did really well. And when he was leaving, there was kind of a, what's going to happen next? And I'll tell you, she stepped in there and just knocked it out of the park as far as filling that role and exceeding it and just being her own type of school resource officer, which was a breath of fresh air for a lot of people. So very, very good job, and we really do appreciate it. So thank you.
Thank you, sir.
She's still going to be around, but I wish I had her more. But my next thing is, for some reason, when you have somebody go out, you have somebody come in, and the next person I'd like to recognize is Officer Alfire. So with Officer Stillman going from full-time to part-time, I'd like to recognize Officer Fred Alkire, who will be taking the position as full-time for the city of Odessa as the police officer. So on behalf, this is your certificate of promotion. So there you go.
Don't go anywhere yet, Officer Alkire. We've got to commission you.
Just raise your hand. I, Frederick Alcar, having been appointed to the officer of police officer by the mayor and the board of aldermen and the city of Odessa, Missouri, do hereby swear and affirm that I will faithfully demean myself while in office of police officer of Odessa, conserving the peace, and that I will enforce the ordinance of Odessa and the laws of the state of Missouri, so help me God.
Thank you.
I wanted it.
All right, we're not going to repeat that. Congratulations. All right. Anything else? All right, next we will move into old business. First item is the second reading of bill number 2015-15, ordinance number 2907, an ordinance of the city of Odessa, Missouri, authorizing the mayor to enter into and execute an agreement between the county of Lafayette, Lexington, Missouri, and the city of Odessa, Missouri for the collection of city taxes and sticker fees. This is the second reading for your approval. Alderman Wright.
I'll move we approve the second reading of bill number 2015-15, ordinance number 2907.
Have a motion and a second. Second. Have a motion and a second to approve second reading of bill number 2015-15. Any further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, voice vote.
Alderman Lockhart,
Yes.
Alderman Stevens,
Yes.
Alderman Wright,
Yes.
Alderman Bellington,
Yes.
Alderman Carnegie,
Yes.
Alderman Henry.
Yes.
Motion carries 6-0. 4-0. And with that, we will, City Hall staff will be putting together information, getting information out as far as how taxes will be conducted this year, the changes that are going to take place, what bills are going to look like, and different things like that. All right. Next is new business. First item is Shane Porter from Cub Scout Pack 120. Mr. Porter. If you don't mind, please.
Hi, I'm from Cub Scout Pack 120 in Odessa here, and we are hoping to get a permit to go camping at the reservoir on the 17th. We will have roughly about 40 boys out there. During our time out there, we'll be, making food, camping, and also doing a service project out at the reservoir, which we've done in the past several times. Cleaning up the reservoir trash, which I think we all know gets pretty horrendous out there. So we'd just like your all's permission to go camping.
Okay. Hey, you said that is on October 17th?
October 17th, this
Just
Saturday.
one night?
Yeah, this Saturday. We'll arrive anywhere from 3 to 5 p.m. and we'll leave most likely before noon on Sunday.
Okay. Hey, you guys have camped out there before?
Yes, sir.
Correct. Okay.
I believe this will be our third time.
We always appreciate the work that you guys do out there as well.
Thank you.
For that. Any questions or a motion to approve the request? Chief Newhouse is aware of it as well.
I'll make a motion we let camp, 17.
Have a motion?
I'll say.
Alderman Stevens, second. Any other discussion?
They're gonna be out at the shelter house, is that where you normally set up camp, or?
Yes, yeah. We'll use the shelter house as kind of a get-together area, and then all of our campsites will be around that building there.
If there's local fishermen come out there, they normally avoid you, or do they?
Yeah,
Maybe.
yes, they do. Yeah, they kind of keep themselves.
I know it's a popular place for the weekend.
Yeah. Actually, I did have one question. Is there any possibility that we could get the area mowed, or should we do that ourselves?
We'll look into it. You got a number that I can contact you on?
Absolutely. Would you like it now?
Yeah.
816 729
729
0129
0129
0129.
We've got a copy of the two.
0129.
Yes, sir.
I'll talk to you.
All right, great.
And have you been out there to look at the grass?
No, we have not, no.
One of our took the hay off of it, so I don't know what the height of it would be.
I'm only supposed to.
Around the pavilion building has been mowed by the park department last week.
Oh, great, okay.
We can
Like the
take a
city
look,
budget?
we can take a look
Yes.
and get you a phone call.
Out there?
and let you know
Yes.
what needs to be done.
That'll be perfect, thank you.
All right, any other questions? All right, seeing none, all in favor? Motion carries 6-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next is be a first and second reading. This is the first reading, bill number 2015-16, ordinance number 2908. An ordinance of the city of Odessa, Missouri, authorizing the mayor to appoint a finance director who will assume the financial duties previously performed by the city clerk. This is the first reading for your approval.
Make the motion that we approve ordinance number 2908, bill number 2015-16.
Second. Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Mr. Aries, anything?
No, we've had our legal counsel look at this, and as we move forward, as we've discussed, I think this is a move forward for the city to establish a financial officer, and I think it's going to be a very positive move for the city.
Seeing none, all in favor? First reading carries. Next is second reading, bill number 2015-16, ordinance number 2908, second reading for your approval.
I'll make a motion that we approve bill number 2015-16, ordinance number 2908.
Motion on second.
I'll second.
Alderman Wright seconds. Bill number 2015-16, ordinance number 2908, second reading. Discussion. Roll call.
Alderman Key,
Yes.
Alderman Stevens,
Yes.
Alderman Wright,
Yes.
Alderman Bellington,
Yes.
Alderman Lockhart,
Yes.
Alderman Carney.
Yes.
All right, motion carries. Next is resolution 2015-20, resolution of the City of Odessa, Missouri, reassigning the duties of city clerk / finance officer to a newly created position and relinquishing the clerk of those duties. This is a resolution for your approval. Alderman Wright.
I'll move we approve resolution 2015-20.
Have a motion and a second.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve resolution 2015-20. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Motion carries. Excuse me. Next is resolution 2015-21, a resolution of the City of Odessa, Missouri, appointing Peggy O for the position of city clerk. This is a resolution for a board appointment. Alderman Payne.
I make the motion that we approve resolution 2015-21.
Motion of a second.
Second motion.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Motion carries 6-0. All right. I'll read it all and you say I do. Raise your right hand, please. I, Peggy Oak, do solemnly swear that I possess qualifications for the office of city clerk as prescribed by law, that I will support the Constitution of the United States and of the state of Missouri, the provision of all laws of this state affecting cities of this class, and the ordinances of the city of Odessa, faithfully demean myself in office, so help me God. Congratulations. Congratulations, Madam Clerk.
Thank you so much.
All right, no, I'm excited to have you on board, and I think I can speak for the rest of the board to say that we're very excited to.
Thank you.
Congratulations. With that, I'll say that this is going to be a bit of a transition with her moving to city clerk. She's performed in the past, but there's a lot of duties that she's expressed that she isn't as familiar with because she hasn't performed some of them before. So, for instance, the packet, things like that, it may come out a little slower than usual. There may be some different things that take place that are kind of different. So if you just be patient, we'll work through some of that stuff. I've already told her that it's not going to be a big deal. We'll make sure all the major stuff gets to you guys when you need it, and then if some things kind of fall through the cracks, she'll get up to speed and we'll get all that stuff taken care of as she feels more comfortable with the job. But I'm not too worried about it, so I think everything's going to go fine. So just want to give the board a heads up. All right, next is resolution 2015-22, a resolution of the City of Odessa, Missouri, rescinding resolution 2015-16 and authorizing the mayor to execute and amend an agreement with Kansas City Power and Light Company Facilities Extension Agreement to install power at 7,000 Golden Belt Road. This is a resolution for your approval.
Make a motion that we approve resolution 2015-22.
Have a motion? One second.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second to approve resolution 2015-22. Any discussion? You want to?
Is this simply